Fade out 1. Fade in 3.
Pizza Flicks Television Division presents
Rose, I only hope your trouble's a little one.
Oh, I hope so too, Uncle Augie.
Benny, you take care of Rose. You answer to me, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Orgen.
Benny, you're a man now. Call me like everybody else. Little Augie, huh?
Yes, sir, Mr. Augie. Little Augie.
There's $1,000 in there in 5s and 10s. I don't want you to get spoiled.
Oh.
Benny, you take care of her, huh? Or else?
Uncle Augie, I'm going to name my first one after you.
Good luck, kid.
We're not all as successful as your Uncle Augie, but that doesn't mean our hearts are not as big.
Thank you, Uncle Lepke.
Thank you, Mr. Buckholter.
Call me Lepke, kid. From now on, you can call me Lepke.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lepke.
Don't ever let me hear anybody call your Uncle Charlie a piker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gura.
You take care of Rose here, like she was my daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Ruditsky.
Benny, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good health. You keep your nose clean, huh? I'll have to put you where you forget you're a husband.
I don't care how much you're doing. Next to what I got in mind, it is chicken feed. You know what I mean? Chicken feed for little chickens.
Think it's big, huh?
3-way split, it's gotta be big.
Virgin territory, so help me. You guys coming in this deal with me, you're in on the ground floor, you gotta make a killing. Labor rackets is growing big. Organized labor's the coming thing. A buck. A lousy buck from every jerk in the garment industry. What does that make, huh?
$250,000.
Every month dues, huh?
A lousy buck? 30, 40 million a year.
Is a buck all the dues are?
Yeah, think it ought to be at least 2, huh?
4. Packers pay 4 a month, cutters pay double. Big, huh? Big? What do you say?
They left their prints and their marks on the Times. Those businessmen who made a contract with brass knuckles, stink bombs, and finally, submachine guns. Jacob Orgen, alias Little Augie. Jack Kid Dropper cut his mark on Little Augie's face, but as ugly as it was nothing next to the mark the devil himself must have put on Little Augie's soul. Louis Lepke Buchholder. He wound up in the electric chair after carving his name in history as Mr. Murder Incorporated. Charles Gura, partner of Lepke and Murder Incorporated. Second fiddle to nobody in the band of sour music of the 20s. Oh, this picture is not out of the police files. I took it out of my own photo album. The kid on the right there is Lepke. Kid on the left, Little Augie. And the kid in the middle is yours truly, Barney Ruditsky. I don't remember where Gura was when this picture was taken because he belonged in the two. He was out of the same tenement, 88 Essex Street, New York. Gura and a kid who became a judge on the Supreme Court. A kid who became a Wall Street banker, a millionaire. Another kid became president of an Ivy League university. And a kid who became a famous writer. All out of the same pot. Strange years. When a wedding not only brought together a boy and a girl, but was an occasion for a marriage to rape organized labor.
Why don't you be a nice fella and make it easy on yourself? What we give you in peace of mind will cost you cheaper in the long run. With us in the picture, you can forget all about them crummy bums, making your whole life miserable in that shop, screaming for another 12 cents an hour. You give them once, you think you're through, right? And in 6 months, you gotta give again. Right?
Right.
What do you say?
It was only days later when anyone on 7th Avenue could tell you what came out of the handshake. It was titled Labor Benevolent Protection Fund Incorporated. The bylaws were very liberal, so they could do business in all directions. All directions meaning they could take a contract to make a strike and break an employer, or make a contract and break a strike for an employer.
Hey, make it out for 50. You see, it's 5 a month, 50 a year. So 50 be thrifty, huh?
Safe.
Then, of course, there was the insurance plan. That meant that you gave the money to insure yourself against labor difficulties. This was built on the old Chinese system, that you paid the doctor to keep you well, and not when you were sick. Break a strike, make a strike, or the Chinese system. It was a very lucrative racket for the Labor Benevolent Protection Fund Incorporated.
Glad to have you with us.
Now you can sleep nights, just like a baby. No more headaches, huh? From now on, all your labor problems are over. I told you, relax. We'll take care of them crummy strikers for you. You got nothing to worry about.
Bloodsuckers!
So let them wear out their shoe leather. Who cares? See what we do for you? When we say we give you protection, we give you protection.
Someday they'll give the electric chair to the capitalists who hire hoodlums to spill our blood.
Mr. Landman, don't change the subject, please.
Electric chair is too good.
Yeah, are you positive now you can identify the man who shot you?
Someday there'll be a revolution. Certainly I can identify him. I told you he had a scar. He had a scar.
Yeah, I know, but the window where he shot from, that's a good 30 feet away.
30 feet, 30 miles. I see he has a J scar on his cheek.
Will you testify to that on the Bible?
James is just as guilty as he is. They should be made to suffer together.
Mr. Landman, will you stand up in court and identify the man who shot you as Augie Orgen?
If we have to fight, then we have to fight. I'm not afraid. I'll stand up in court. I'll tell them the whole world that the man who spilt my blood was a gangster, Augie Orgen.
Now you got it straight? Let him in. Hello, Barney. What took you so long?
Yeah, what took you so long?
When you moved your office from the garage in the old neighborhood, it took me a little time to find you.
Well, let's see why. We're in the phone book.
Yeah, all you had to do was call information, Barney.
Yeah. Labor Benevolent Protection Fund. Jacob Orgen, president. All right, Pres, let's go.
Barney, ain't you ever gonna grow up? We've been friends ever since we was so high. You ain't got no esprit de corps.
For dear old 88 Essex Street?
All right. I'll give you Esprit de corpse. I'll give you Esprit the old school tie. All the way to the judge. Esprit de old school tie.
Your Honor, the state demands that in light of the evidence just presented, that this court recommend the defendant booked as charged and held for trial for assault with intent to kill. The office of the district attorney would also like to demand that this defendant be denied the privileges of liberty on bail at any figure. We hardly feel it necessary to remind the court that mitigating circumstances could prevent us from presenting our case in its full strength, should the witnesses be intimidated, or, even worse,
Would the district attorney confine himself to the routine of a preliminary hearing and let the decisions as to bail and futures to this court?
You think they could have gotten to the judge? Looks like he's favoring little Augie.
No, he can't throw it out. We have a solid witness.
Yeah, if you can keep him alive.
Now, have you any further evidence to present to this court directly?
Your Honor, the state feels that the evidence of the eyewitness, Samuel Landman, is sufficient.
Does the defending attorney have anything to present?
Yes, Your Honor, we have. We request that this charge be dismissed.
Dismissed? Your Honor, how can such a ridiculous charge come before this?
Have the floor, Mr. District Attorney.
I shall repeat. We request that this charge be dismissed on the grounds that the testimony of one so-called witness is not enough evidence to bring my client to trial as charged.
On what facts do you base this request? Mr. Samuel Landman here is sworn that Mr. Orgen is the man who shot him.
Mr. Landman asserts that a man with a certain scar shot him.
What are you trying to say?
With this court's permission...
Proceed. Order! Order in the court! Any further disturbance, I'll have this courtroom cleared.
They're all wearing the dropper's mark.
Lousy flock of jaybirds.
Mr. Samuel Landman, under oath, I demand that you identify the scar that shot you.
Dirty, cheap trick. They can't get away with it.
Quiet, Ruditsky. You'll confuse the witness.
Remove yourself from this courtroom, Mr. Ruditsky, and consider yourself lucky that you're not made to pay for this undignified display.
Your Honor, I demand that Ruditsky be arrested for attempted assault.
You shut up. How do you mean to tell me that you can't tell whether it was one of these 5 men or little Augie here that shot you? Case dismissed.
I want to thank you very much for your time. Very nice of you. How you doing? Heard you got out of a sick bed and everything. Swell. How's the wife and kids? We didn't get a chance to kibitz in court today, Henry, so I got to wondering.
Look, Mr. Orgen, you didn't have to worry about me. I'm like the 3 little monkeys. See no, hear no, and speak no evil. You know what I mean.
Hey, why don't you open a window or something in there, huh? How can you stand there in this sweatshop without no air?
I'll open. I'll open.
You know, if I had to be cooped up, I think I'd go nuts. I'm not the kind of a guy that can take stir easy, you know?
I don't blame you. I know what you mean.
Well, it's good you don't blame me, because I can't afford to take chances, you know?
No, Helen, please. Please don't. No.
Hey, have a little respect, huh?
Little Augie figured himself out of court that day. He was good at figuring, I have to admit. But it just goes to show you, you can't figure right all the time. Don't you worry about a thing, Mr.
I
James.
never did anything like this in my whole life.
Here, buddy.
This will be a first time for anything. Now, if you'll just sign here, Mr. James, please.
What am I signing?
Well, Mr. O'Neill here made a legal transcription of your statement. Now, if you'll just sign it, I can go and pick up Mr. Orgen and put him where he can't shove you or anybody else across.
I'm doing the right thing, aren't I?
You sure are.
Look, AJ, it ain't as if I committed a murder. All I did was to shove him a little. The way the fuss everybody's kicking up, you think I pushed him off.
You don't figure you have a problem? Why bother me?
Well, it's Ruditsky. He's trying to nail me to the cross.
Make your point.
Well, look, AJ, I'm not the kind of a guy that can sit it out and stir. You know what I mean?
Well, so?
Well, what would it cost for me to get 100% insurance for a political fix? I want this beef squared. I know it ain't murder, but I want it squared.
50,000?
50 G's?
Clean money, unmarked, no smell on it, no leads. Positively unidentifiable, and I get its pedigree.
AJ, awful heavy.
You want a bargain? Go to Woolworths. You want a fix? Come up with 50 G's or take your chance. Ruditsky's your pal. Why don't you go to see him?
Are you kidding? Ruditsky's a Boy Scout. If he caught his mother spitting in the subway, he'd book her.
Look, Augie, I am a businessman. Overhead, fixed cost of a contract like you need, 50,000 is a bargain already. I couldn't shave it if you was my own brother.
Yeah. I get the picture. All right. I'll have the 50 G's for you in the morning.
Good. And you get peace of mind.
Thanks. Aspirin would do it cheaper.
In future, come out with aspirin instead of a gun. Oh, Augie, you've forgotten something.
What do you want me to do? Leave my head here for security?
You have a quaint sense of humor. I'd like the means and source of the 50,000. That was a condition of my taking this contract.
Okay. Well, there's a strike brewing in the Painters Association. They have offered me 50,000 to squash it.
And how do you plan to deliver this service?
The Painters Union is my account. I'll talk to Jake. He'll do it for me.
And what do you do for him?
Benevolent fund. Paid for in advance.
And how do you explain this to your partners?
What do I have to explain?
They won't care that you take the whole fee for the contract?
This contract, I handle 100% myself.
Lepke and Garrar ain't going to like this.
I don't care if they don't like it. I dissolve the partnership. What do you care, huh?
Nothing. Just curious, that's all.
Now, look, I made this racket. It was my idea. There's only out of goodness in my heart I give them a piece of the action. I put them in, I put them out. It is only out of the bigness of my heart every single time that I inherit trouble. But never again, AJ. You hear me? Never again.
Augie, don't get excited. It's bad for the heart.
Now listen, don't you worry about my heart. I'll have the 50 G's for you in the morning. You just fix that beef. If I ever let my heart get me into a jam again, so help me, I'll have my head examined.
Operator, I want Plaza 3, 6098.
How do I know? Faster than if you sent me Western Union. That's how I know.
I can't believe he'd do it.
You think Jake's old lady made it up? She ain't that smart.
Your old lady ain't that smart either. I guess we gotta believe it.
For a lousy 50 G's! You think he'd have more respect for all we've been to each other?
It's a lousy business. You think the cloak and suit has such problems? To them, a partner's a partner.
How can he just throw away everything we've been to each other?
After all we've been through.
All we've done. I bet we pushed a dozen guys across together. And it didn't make any difference whether he pulled the trigger or you or me. We always shared the contract like we were one.
Maybe he's sick. And how else can you figure it?
He must be sick.
I can't believe it.
You calling my old lady a liar?
Stop worrying about your old lady. We're on that complaint James signed too.
Sick? Little Augie maybe is having a nervous breakdown. How else can you figure?
I think the least we could do is have a little talk. After all, we got mutual problems.
Mutual problems. Maybe we should show him that we have more respect for our relationship and all we've been through.
Yeah. Yeah. If he wants to be a louse, that's his business. We still gotta do the right thing, huh?
Call him.
Where?
How do I know?
Augie, where you been? We've been worried sick about you.
So why should you be worried sick about me?
Yeah, you know how it is. You know what I mean? We heard something.
Sure, so we worried. Don't cost nothing, so we worried.
So what'd you hear? Couple old ladies got nothing to do, so they talk.
Yeah, that's all we heard.
What? I made a personal deal with the Painters Association to break up the strike?
Yeah, that's what we heard. But we understand. You needed a fast, unmarked 50 G's to fix the James beef for yourself. Anybody'd do the same.
Sure, Augie. You don't think after all we've been to each other, a little personal matter? It's not like the end of the world, huh?
You mean it?
Sure. Business is business.
Sure. You don't think after all we've been to each other?
You can't beat it.
What?
Old friends. Like brothers. You can't beat it. You know, if you guys didn't understand, I don't know what I would do.
Augie. After all we've been through together.
Sure, Augie. After all, if you can't count on us, who can you count on? Like, I mean, brothers, huh?
You know what I am going to do? I am going to try to find a way. That's what I'm going to do. Find a way.
For what?
For us to still do business together. Look, we need AJ for a political fix. I had this figured a long time ago. We still got a relationship? Oh, right, it's a little more complicated, but this is progress. This is like a merger on Wall Street, you understand?
Yeah. J.P. Morgan doesn't need Carnegie anymore, so he dumps him.
He doesn't dump them, they split. And then they amalgamate.
Amalgamate? What?
Look, what difference does it make? Did you ever hear Carnegie going around broke asking for handouts, huh? Listen, what do we meet tonight, huh? We'll sit down to a meal, we'll schmooze a little bit, we're gonna come up with a new formula, huh? A kind of a partnership, what do you say?
Amalgamation, right?
Where? Tennis? Tennis? That's where we started the labor racket? I think it'd be kind of a nice touch, huh? What do you say? 8? If you don't hear no different, I'll be there. Hey, you guys. I love you, just like brothers, so help me. I loved him like a brother.
Lousy business we're in.
Yeah, we're in a lousy business.
Jacob Orgen, alias Little Augie. Born February 9, 1895. Died October 15, 1927.